So to our final panel discussion of the day, where we're putting the focus on businesses that were founded on blood and bonded by family, as it were. The family founded and the family-run businesses. And we're looking at the role that these entities do have in creating jobs and also encouraging further entrepreneurship. So the family-run business model is quite tried and tested here in South Africa. If you think about the Ackerman family and Pick n Pay, or the Oppenheimer family and De Beers, also added into that basket the restaurant food chain Nando's, as well as property group Pam Golding. So it works. And so our next panel discussion will be going into details on how to make it work better and how to ensure that these entities can play a stronger role in creating jobs and driving growth in this economy post-COVID-19. And so to facilitate the discussion, we are family and we mean business. I would like to invite Happy Ngidi. I was going to say back again, but we haven't had you in the physical, right? We had you in the virtual and in the video, but it's good to have you today in the physical. Happy Ngidi, the Chief Marketing Officer at Proudly South Africa, and I'm handing over to her for the grand finale discussion of the day. Thanks, Happy.
Thank you so much, Fifi.
A warm applause, please.
Thank you so much, Fifi, for that warm welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. As introduced, my name is Happy Ngidi from Proudly South African, and pleased to be facilitating this fantastic and very interesting discussion this afternoon. So just a bit of background regarding this discussion before I introduce our panelists for this afternoon. So we're discussing, we are family and we mean business. And so our reality as a country is that we simply do not have enough jobs in South Africa. And the private sector is unable to incorporate everybody seeking a job into their ecosystem because it is simply not possible. And so therefore, as a people, we are going to keep, it's a question, are we going to keep pointing at each other, or at the government for lack of jobs? Yes, the government is accountable to create an enabling environment that will result into jobs, and the rest of us are also required to play our part. And so, does South Africa have enough jobs? And the answer is no, we don't have enough jobs. So what are we going to do about it? Entrepreneurship has to work. The companies that we are about to chat to now are local businesses started and owned and run by family members. Hence, we are family and we mean business. They employ people, creating jobs, contributing to the value chain in their respective industries. They contribute to our economy, and ultimately, that translates to many households being taken care of. To hopefully, in that circle, start to deal with unemployment, inequality, and poverty, and most importantly, the social ills that we struggle with as a country. The thought process behind all of this is influenced our decision, rather, as Proudly South African, to invite these incredible business people to unpack this reality that we are faced with, as a country. They are families, they are all related, one way or another, mothers and sons, siblings, husbands and wives, fathers and sons. It's a local concoction that presents interesting dynamics we are about to unpack. But before we go into that, we have a competition that we're running because we're wanting our audiences to engage with us. This discussion is not only for us, it's for you, and we'd like you as an audience to engage with us. So we're running a competition because we feel like giving away something that is made locally. We all love to win something. So we're about to run a competition, And this is what you're about to win if you enter the competition. It's a Hisense flat screen that is made locally, and this could be yours by the end of this discussion. All you have to do is to listen attentively to the discussion, listen to everything that we're talking about with these incredible local businesses, and your question is at the end will be, how many businesses were introduced here today, and what are the names of these businesses? And so the question is twofold. The one part of it is how many businesses, what businesses were represented in this discussion today, and how old are we turning as Proudly South African this year? That's your question. I'll remind you, and that's what you stand to win. Without further ado, please help me welcome to the stage our panelists today, and I'm going to start with Brother's Beard, Vizolet, Kuwanda, and his brother is Takura, and they own, welcome, come Vizolet, come, fantastic. Do you want to sit on my far right? Left rather, there we go, welcome. What happens when two brothers start growing their beards? And then they want the beard to live its best life. I don't know if that's achievable, but we're about to find out. And so visiting a local pharmacy to see what they have in store didn't yield the results that you and your brother were hoping for, right?
Yes.
And so you were looking for a solution and you didn't find any. And that produced more questions for you than answers. And then you started your business. I like the fact that you faced a personal challenge where you couldn't find a solution to what you were looking for, and then you made a plan.
Yes.
Hence the business.
Yes.
Welcome. We can't wait to hear more from you.
Sure.
A round of applause, please. And great to meet you. And also, well, our second guest, rather, is a father and son business. They operate from Cape Town. The Green family, Malcolm Green, who is with us in the studio this afternoon. And Ricardo is online, connecting from Cape Town. Welcome, Malcolm. Please come sit next to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Welcome, Malcolm. So it's a father and son business. Malcolm and Ricardo Green are the driving force behind LaRicmal wines, and they bring a combination of business experience and sound acumen, which has given LaRicmal brand a name in the industry. And in fact, today, here at the summit, they launch their incredible innovation. One of its kind, I'm told, Malcolm.
Yes, definitely.
Which is a wine kit.
Yes.
Listen, 6 bottles in one. I have a smile on my face. Problems are sorted at home. 6 bottles in one packet. And I'm told it's reasonably priced.
Yes.
It tastes amazing. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Welcome,
Yes.
Malcolm. Is Ricardo on the line?
Yes, Ricardo.
Hello, Ricardo.
Hello, Happy.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, Ricardo.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. Your dad promises that he's going to take care of business today. But we're bringing you into the conversation.
No doubt.
No doubt, he will.
He'll do his best. No doubt.
He'll do a good job, right?
Definitely.
All righty. All right, so as we continue to introduce our guests, they are a married couple. Oh. We are about to find out if there's peace in the home. They are a married couple. They are executive producers of their own wedding a couple of years ago. Fantastic production, by the way. And they now co-own a local fashion line known as Pot of LNG, and they still look sane, rather. Relatively. They married, they produced their own wedding, and now they're in business together, and they still look okay. They look amazing, actually. And it is Dineo, Langa and her hubby, Zothile Langa. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Fantastic to have you here this afternoon. We can't wait to hear more. Alrighty, so we have a pot of, I told you it was a local concoction, right? I did warn you. So she's a former Miss South Africa. Her name is Bokang Montjane-Tshabalala. And her hubby is a football star husband. I refer to him as Shaba. Right? We all know Shaba. I can imagine that dribbling your skill on the soccer pitch. Siphiwe Tshabalala. And they created their own kiddies clothing range called SB Kids in 2018, created for young kids to embrace their Africanness and shine just as brightly as the heroes and princesses in other fairy tales. The brand is currently at retail stores. Please welcome, a warm welcome for Bokang and Siphiwe. Welcome, guys. From wearing a throne that you still wear graciously years later, to dribbling and doing amashibobo on the soccer pitch, to manufacturing clothes. I know we're about to find out what's going on there. Fantastic to have you here, guys.
Thank you.
All righty. And then on the line, we have Vivian Kleynhans, who is one of the 7 siblings. Guys, I don't know what is going on in that house. And their business is called 7 Sisters. And Vivian, so great to see you. As usual, you always show up when you call up on you to come and talk to us. But Vivian is a co-owner of a business with her sisters 20 years later. I need to give you background. So it says that Vivian had a vision to change the destiny of her family after her father lost his job in the fishing factory when she was just a teenager. The family was consequently evicted from their home and dispersed amongst relatives outside of their hometown. 20 years later, the separated siblings, Brutus siblings, were reunited and began working towards realizing their vision of creating a business in the wine industry. What a heartwarming story, Vivian, but we're about to hear more about it. The 7 Sisters range is crafted to suit the personality of each of the sisters. And the business is a tribute to sisterhood and the celebration of a reunited family. Yeah.
Thank you, Happy.
I can't even begin to imagine dealing with 7 sisters. You need Jesus to show up and instill order, but we're about to find out. Welcome, Vivian.
Yeah, it's not easy. Thank you.
It's not
Thank
easy.
you, Happy.
I can imagine it's not easy. All right, so last but not least, we have now my favorite, Gemere. You know, I need water. Talk about Gemere, suddenly I'm thirsty. So most of us know that there's no typical local South African celebration without Gemere, right? Gemere le dikuku. Yeah, you can't say Gemere and cake. It doesn't quite match. Gemere le dikuku. Okay. And any sort of gathering really that has a sense of sharing, support, Ubuntu, and so on and so forth. We all know that. And Mosibudi is the spirit of celebrating proudly South Africa's 21st birthday year. We hope, oh well, I'm asking you a question. Where's Mosibudi? Please welcome, come. So she runs the business with her sister, who couldn't be with us today, but she's with us in spirit. Yes. And it's a family legacy. Yes. Took over from mom. And you're doing the things with the Gemmer brand, right?
The most.
I'm hoping you brought Singwinyana for us.
I did.
In the spirit of celebrating our 21st birthday.
I did.
You
I
did not?
I did.
Listen, let me tell you.
I did.
This guy on my left here brought a whole wine cellar. You brought nothing.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Ite.
Ite.
Yeah, Ite.
All right, a warm welcome, round of applause for everybody, please, in the room with us today to welcome our panelists. Thank you so much for joining us. So I want to encourage our, audiences to send us questions, because this discussion really is for them. Send us questions in no particular order, and we will ask our panelists to answer those questions. But some of the questions I have for you now, for all of you, does it still feel like a good idea to be in business with family? Zothile, I'm starting with you because you're avoiding eye contact.
Strategy did not work out for me.
No.
Honestly, it's one of the best decisions I've probably ever made. To give you context, we got married in 2019, and a few months later, we were in a lockdown. And most people can attest to, being in one space with your loved ones for that long of a period of time, comes with its own challenges. For us, I mean, we didn't even get to honeymoon. We didn't get to, so this was it. This being in the space was essentially that, right? And, luckily for us, it came with such positivity, I think, for us, to the point where eventually it leads us on a path where we're starting a business together. Now, you need to be very strong as a couple to even, think of starting a business together. And I think 17 months later, we're learning as we go, but it's so rewarding.
You are a cute toddler. 17 months later.
Yeah.
You're still a toddler.
Months, yeah. Absolutely.
Dineo, you were not sure for a second there.
No, I said, cute toddler, did you see baby pictures? I just wanted to check.
You wanted just
Because I was a cute toddler. I just wanted to make sure that you're talking about the business and not me.
Fair enough. And you agree?
I do agree. It's really been such a beautiful collaboration between us two, and I get to learn another layer, right? Because he's the person who says, after coffee, he's perfect. So he's made sure that he wakes up early, and I get the perfect version all the time.
Great.
So now when I get to encounter creative next to creative, it then speaks to our partnership, it then speaks to the vision that we've had for our lives, it speaks to the conversations that we've had for 10 years about what we envision going forward. So when we see this toddler living and walking and feeding itself, pretty much, it's amazing. You stop and you go, wow. When you really put your mind to it and you put your back into it, it can really stay alive.
Yeah.
Not just come to life, it will stay alive.
Okay. So Vivian, I'm hoping you're not the eldest, because let me tell you something. As an eldest sibling, it's a trap. You are co-mom, co-dad, co-everybody. So I'm hoping you're not the eldest sibling. But do you still think it's a good idea to start a business with relatives?
Yes, I think so. I think it's safer. I am the fourth born of the family, of the sisters. And I was always the solution founder. So while we were growing up, everybody will just come to me with their problems. So, and being such a close-knit family, we do fight. We are strong-willed women, and we say what we have in our minds, but we get that over with and we continue building the business, because it's a legacy. It's a long-term vision that we have, and it's not something that's just gonna, make us money overnight, or that's gonna be standing overnight. We know that we have to put everything into it to grow us into a strong business, and that's why there's a lot of perseverance in it, and there's a lot of patience that we have to learn with each other. But I think if you are clear with a plan, and everybody has got his program and stay in his lane, and report back on a regular basis, I think then it should be all fine.
Yeah. You're getting a lot of from the podium. You on to something, Vivian. On my right and left, that's all I'm hearing, which is fantastic. So what I want to find out is, so for the benefit of those who are just joining us online, the reason why we're having this discussion is to highlight to South Africans that family-run businesses do work. With its challenges and all of that, they do work, and they take care of a portion of the community who are actively looking for jobs and they're struggling to find jobs. And also we're highlighting the job creation element in these businesses, the value chain in these businesses, within, looking at the sectors that these businesses are operating within. And we're looking at the fact that, it's a combination of ordinary citizens. Some of the guests here are high-profile personalities. We're just wanting to see whether the high-profile personalities, by virtue of the fact that they are, is it easy for them to walk into a bank and come out with a deal because they have a name? Or do they have to work twice as hard to get the deal? Because that's a perception out there. And also, the other businesses that are represented here reminds us of, it speaks to township economy. We all know many townships around the corner. There's that spaza shop around the corner. There's a car wash around the corner. There's a tavern around the corner. There's a dry cleaning business. There's a mama who makes a magwinya, who's ready at 5 o'clock in the morning. People go via her house to buy, to take to work. All of those are businesses that have taken many people to school, and those cannot be undervalued. And this is why we're having this discussion today. So, to that corner over there, the dribblers of local business. So, Bokang, who came up with the idea? Who was that guy between the two who thought one day, okay, now I've done the ramp, I've got the crowd, and then I've scored 50,000 goals on the pitch, but now we must create a clothing line. Who came up with that idea?
Sure. I think it was a collective thing because we had always been talking about creating a legacy and also just trying to do something really beautiful for the African child. So I think that we've spoken about it so many times to say, our purpose on this world is beyond the crown. Yeah. His purpose is beyond the soccer field. We wanted to create a story from our own personal stories to say you can be a girl who comes from a village and you can win the biggest crown in the country, the crown being a symbol of success. It could be education, it could be running a business, being a doctor, being anything, right? And that's the kind of story I wanted to sell to little girls who come from where I come from, who look just like me. And then with him as well, being somebody who plays football, and after the 2010 World Cup, everybody, he all of a sudden he's an African hero. And the whole idea behind it is to say to that little boy who comes from Soweto, if Siphiwe could, in spite of all the circumstances in his life, be a success, you can as well. So we've been talking about it, and we've been trying to figure out what can we do. We started talking about books, and then we're like clothing. I said to him, when you walk into a store and you look at the kiddies area, moms just rush in and they buy for those kids. But the biggest issue for me was, and I remember saying to him when we fell pregnant, if we are going to have a daughter, there is no way in hell I will be comfortable and okay and be able to live with myself if I have to walk in a store and buy a dress for my daughter of a character that has blue eyes and blonde hair, because that is the definition of beauty. That's what my daughter is going to think is the definition of beauty. And because we've been talking about it for so long, then we were like, no, we're going to do this for ourselves. Let us do it. Of course, we want the big corporate companies to do it, but if they are not, for me, it started off with our own children. We're going to have kids of our own one day. I want a black little boy to know that there's a super Shaba out there. It's a story not created. It's not a fictional one. It's about a real person, a human being who overcame all the challenges and he became great. Sure. And so I think it was collective. It's just that, I think we started off with coming up with different ideas.
I think I know where it happens. It happens rather. So be careful what you put out on social media, because I follow you. I don't know where you're going, but I'll just get there. Right? And you said in many of your posts that you have a date a date.
Yes.
Twice a week or once a week. You take the
You try and
children, you dump them with the grandmother. I don't know what you do with your children, but you just be with yourself.
those moments.
That's what you.
Those moments.
So, is that where the idea came from? When you were together, looking each other in the eye, the children were not there, and you came up with this idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are not afraid to dream. You know, we are free when it comes to dreaming. We don't limit ourselves.
Sure.
And we always plan and brainstorm as well.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. We argue a lot. You know. But it's good. I think personally for me, having got my fingers bent in business so many times before, I think the best decision that I made was to do business with my wife, someone that sees my vision. So there's an alignment. There's trust. We put heart and soul into everything, and we started this it started as an idea, and then from an idea to a plan to drawing, and then a plan, and then we booked our tickets off to China.
To do what?
That was the
First,
first time, our very
we went
first
to
range,
China.
which is something we actually
Remember,
we want to
before,
talk about.
yeah,
Because
I mean, they'll tell you that everything in China is cheap.
Yeah.
So we went to China.
Yeah.
To go,
Then invest.
there's that word in the Bible, Thomas. Ne, you look
Yeah, with Thomas.
we did the whole thing. So
she
we went
did
to the
the whole research and all that, and then-
yeah, and I think after that, then that's when we decided our things have to be proudly SA, because it was
was
but
expensive.
It was so
was an
expensive.
eye-opener.
It
Exactly.
was such an eye opener
Yeah.
because when everybody says everything is cheaper in China, you actually think, actually let's do that,
Yeah.
right? Because now these South Africans are just so slow. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
they're not. And it was such a great
Yeah.
experience as well. Yeah, I think it was a very, very great experience for us.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Ricardo, I want to talk to Ricardo about how did you figure out who's best placed to do what in the business? Because, we've worked with this old Dobby on my left-hand side. He can be a little stubborn. So how did you figure out whether he takes care of the finances or he takes care of the marketing of the business while you keep the fires burning back at the ranch? Which one do you think works best for you?
Happy, I must be honest with you. There's one definite thing that doesn't work in family business, and that's the basic conditions of employment. There's no clearly defined job description. There's no negotiating a package. There's no public holidays. It doesn't exist.
There's no increase.
And there's no
striking.
annual increase. So everything is just trial and error between the two of us. But I think that's also something important in a family business, is that we can, if his strong points, I leave Dad to do that. And my strong points, I'm rather more focused on the operations side. So I think our roles and responsibilities are more trial and error. So where he's sitting today, I think, he's more comfortable in doing that. And where I am, riding a truck or a forklift, I mean, that's something that I enjoy doing, and I will do that for as long as I can, as long as Dad is around to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, to answer you, I don't know. We take it as it comes along, but I think Dad's more focused and more strong on the marketing and promotions and negotiation. That's his skill set.
He got
And
you
for
into
me,
retail
I'm
stores,
more
right?
involved in the operations.
He got you into retail stores. Dad.
Yes, he did. Of course, yeah.
Which ones? Mention them, please.
He's got the gift of the gab. So we listed in a few Pick and Pays locally in the Western Cape. We in the ShopRite group. As you know, the ShopRite group also owns OK Foods and the Carp Agri Liquors and the Jumbo Cash and Carry. So we in the ShopRite. We in ShopRite Africa as well. So throughout the stores in the African continent. And obviously in some local retailers, some delis, and we've got some export trade partners that we're working with and that we have been working with for a number of years now.
Fantastic. We are about to hear from Mosibudi and from, I prefer to say the beard guy, because this guy has a French name. Now I must butcher the name. We'll be back. But Dad, do you agree with your son, or when you go back to Cape Town, there'll be some furniture moving in the house? Because he misrepresented you now, though.
Happy, yeah, thank you very much. And I think thanks to Proudly South Africa. And something I must mention, it's important to bring small business up and to speak to small business and to also share the powers of small business. And I think that goes to the whole country, all small businesses, because it's a struggle. Yeah, I've been in business for 43 years. And Ricardo has been in business with me for 23. But you learn, you grow on each other, you develop each other. And one thing we've learned is discipline, business discipline. So we try and practice discipline. He's good at what he does and I do what I can do. But together, we look at it long term because we're doing it for the children. And we're doing it for the country.
You mean for your grandchildren? You can't be doing it for the children.
Yeah.
He's the one who's
He's doing it now for his
children.
kids. Yeah. So, and I think business is a brand. We're building brands. It's not a product as a brand. You as a brand yourself. And that's something very important. Small businesses to look at a brand and discipline. So yes, I agree with Ricardo.
Yeah, you agree.
I have to agree, else I won't go home.
You're keeping the peace. Yeah, this formula works. You see, he's keeping the peace. I can assure you, Ricardo, there won't be any furniture moving when he comes back home. There's peace here.
Definitely not.
No, clearly not. But I know who's behind this movement. And none of you are mentioning her.
Yeah.
Oh,
The real boss.
The real boss of the home.
Yeah.
We know her. She's the one. But anyway, Vivian, I'm coming.
She's hiding here.
She's hiding there. Okay. She's keeping the fires burning, is all I'm saying. Yeah, Mama Khemer. So the legacy goes on, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what works for you? What's the formula that works for you and your sister?
I think because when we grew up in a very tight family. And my father used to say, don't start having friends outside the household. Have friends, come on club, so that you have a level of respect, level of trust that you can't go seek outside. So it became a very easy decision for me to be in a business with my sister. We are two different characters. I'm more in the creative, she's more strategic, she's the IT, I'm the operations. So we balance each other very easily.
Yeah.
So there's no a point where we are clashing or we are in, well, if I'm disagreeing, would be for the benefit of the business.
Yeah.
Because I have to, as a younger sister, I must speak up. You know, how older sisters...
No, as the younger sister, you think you know. Not that you must speak up.
I must speak up. So it's a beautiful combo. We even bore the family when we're doing family gatherings, because all we do is we're having our board meetings there. We talk about the business, everything. Yeah, mama, this is yeah, mama. Yeah, mama. Everybody's like, okay, guys, can we talk about something else?
Yeah.
So yeah, we balance very well.
Okay, but it's a winning formula, is
It
what is important. Can we talk about Injebe, the beard people?
Yeah.
So what complements you and your brother? And did you find your niche market? There was a need, clearly.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think our relationship was really cemented when we were in varsity. He was studying engineering, I was doing accounting. And as students, you know, we're always trying to do the best which we can, both from an academic point of view, and we loved things. He's a Liverpool fan, I'm an Arsenal fan, so that ensured that regardless of what's happening in our personal lives, whenever there are big games coming up, we'll just play catch up over there. So that helped us when we moved to Joburg, 2015, 2016. Funny thing is we both started developing beards. And because we had the space which we're working from, we used to look for part-time student jobs together. So our work ethic
as models.
Yeah. we had a lot of different roles. Sometimes it's handing out flyers. Sometimes, yes, it could be modeling. But when we then moved to Johannesburg now, because of his skill set as well, he had more design elements. He started dabbling into photography in his final year. I had an accounting background, so already the numbers were in check. And I had more of like the creative aspect. Even when we used to watch the soccer games, I'll be the one who's cooking in the background, whilst he's also the one doing the research to say, hey, this formula, I think this would work, this would do that. So I think it is a great match. Our skills were very complementary.
Yeah, wow. And and did you find that in your business, most of the products in the space are imported?
So it depends which distribution channel you're looking at it.
Okay.
But the first distribution channel, which my brother, the first local pharmacy he visited, you are right, there is a significant amount of imported products, but that was back in 2015, 2016. But slowly things are changing. You're finding, though would like to see it at a faster rate, you are finding local brands which are now retailing within mass market. And then there are other channels, for example, Beauty on Tap, where we retail in it. You find a significant amount of locally available products.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that there's a shift 5, 6 years later, and there's a broader, a supply of local product in your space of work. Where's your shop or your salon, or do you operate from somewhere?
So as it stands, our current business model is all e-commerce.
Right.
The reason why we went with e-commerce when we started was both me and my brother had full-time corporate jobs.
Yeah.
I then resigned 2019 to this full-time. My brother relocated. Now he's based in London. But what worked back then was, regardless what was happening within our professional lives, we set up a website. We had a warehouse where we stored our product, and then we integrated it with the local couriers. That means people were able to buy, and the products being delivered to them whilst we're not physically available, and whilst at the same time keeping our cost base quite low. So we just worked out that model even throughout the pandemic. We had plans to get into considering barbershops, more of your brick and mortar, retail and all of that, but we parked it because of the pandemic. But seeing that things are becoming more and more open, we're gonna consider it, but e-commerce has been serving us quite well.
Yes or no? Are you making money?
Yes.
Fantastic. No business person or entrepreneur should ever be shy about the fact that they're making money. It's about that. You must make profits, right? Employ people, but you must also make money. So you are.
Yes.
You keep cutting the beards. You're making money. Fantastic. Vivian, are all the sisters involved? I'm picturing in my head 7. Are you all involved?
Oh goodness, no. No. No,
Yeah,
I won't be able to deal with all the personalities at the same time. No.
What happens in your, world? Who's
No,
involved? How many are involved?
My older sister is a retired housewife, and I have my second older sister. She's a retired nursing sister. She will every now and then come in to help. They mainly help with events, and when we do have to make infomercials, whatever you call it, or maybe a documentary for a television show, or we have a festival or event, then most of them will come and help. But I must be honest with you, everyone has got their own personality and what they think how it should work in that space. However, the business side is solely left to me. I think, I'm the founder, the dreamer, the visionarian of the business. And I explain to them where it's going and what I have envisioned for it. And they're happy to follow in that regard. But I have my children very involved in the business. The one is an accountant and the other one is a mechanic, and he started with me on the farm in the planting of the vineyards. So our business is varied. We have the restaurant on the farm, we have the vineyards, and we have the exports, local sales. yeah, in the restaurant, we make local foods. We give employment to the local farm worker women, and most of them are retired out of the vineyards or cannot work on land anymore. So I train them as cooks, and and some are waiters, and we serve the local food that my mother used to cook for us. So that's one part of the business. And yeah, as you can hear, there are many others. So the export and marketing and promotions I will do. And then my baby son, he assists me with that. And he's busy getting the wines into the local hotel groups. And we are not in retail. We only sell our wines on the farm at the restaurant.
Two questions quickly before I go back to the Langas and the Tshabalalas. So, what informed the name Seven Sisters?
We are 7 biological sisters.
Okay, it's about, but you do all the work. That's not fair. That's where I'm going with that. You said you are the marketer, the finance person, all of that. The sisters are just benefit. No, we must have a family meeting.
No, they do. No, I can assure you
we must have a family meeting.
I keep the important side to myself.
Okay, yeah. So you are boss Zonke. You're the boss lady.
Boss lady.
Yes, you're the boss lady. How many people? You mentioned the restaurant, obviously the wine. How many people do you employ overall?
Well, at times it could be around 50. Currently, we have. Well, that is when we add casuals. But currently, we employ about 15.
50.
15.
15. Okay, those are 15 households. That's what it translates to, which is fantastic. We'll be back. So I just want to remind the audience, the delegates, to please enter that competition. You might just be the one walking away with a locally made flat screen. We'd all like to win that, right? Yeah, everybody's saying yes, yeah. Maybe we'll do an Oprah moment. You get one, you get everybody. Guess what? Under your chair. So please enter the competition. The question was, which companies are represented here in this panel discussion? There's your flat screen on the screen. And also, Proudly South African is turning how old this year? And this could be yours. Fantastic. And just to ask colleagues, team, is there any question from the chat box directed at any panelist that you would like me to know about? You can whisper in my ear. I won't tell anyone. No? Okay. While you have a look, let's continue. Okay. Is there a question? Yeah? Or a comment? Even if it's a nice comment, we want to know what people... You have some nice comments. Oh, okay, I won't tell that one because they'll think it's me. Yeah, because it's about me. Okay. Thabo. All right, so Thabo wants to know if it's a must or it's a prerequisite to file their business plan, when they do the submission to register their companies on CIPC. Does anyone want to take that? Your experience? Malcolm?
No, you don't need to. No.
You don't need to.
No.
Thabo, you got a very quick answer. Here we are organized. We don't mess around.
When you register for CIPRO?
Yes.
No, you don't need a business plan.
Okay.
Just need a name approval, address, ID number, and you submit. You can do it online.
Oh, there we go. You can do it online yourself. There we go. We've dealt with Thabo. Thabo, all good? Anybody else? Second one? What kind of business strategy should you consider as a family-run business? Depends, right, on your business.
I think as a family-owned or run business, one needs to look at your strengths.
Yeah.
What are your strengths? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be using.
Sure.
So you're coming with your strengths. And you need to say, what are my strengths? And a lot of research. Please, it's very important to research. Maybe a long time ago, we never had Google. Today you can
Google is your friend.
Google's your friend. But you mustn't only research the business you want to run. You must research your opposition. And you must research market share. Where are we in the market? What are we going to be doing? And who are you going to sell to? And I think for small business, we need to look at assisting each other more. Because it's difficult to get into retail.
Yeah.
Corporate and retail is difficult, especially for small business. So we should look at supporting each other, growing and developing each other.
He's such a mentor, guys. You can't let him take the shine. Someone else must say something. Yeah,
Also, having processes within the business, don't just let it run, because anybody can just wake up and come up with a decision. So if you're going to be coming into the kitchen, you need to know that these are the rules of the kitchens. This is what we follow. So the day I don't be present at the kitchen, you are able to run the kitchen, because the systems are there, processes are there. Anybody can follow through. So you need that discipline to say, we're going to put together, sit down, do processes, document them and file them, so that we know that if one of the ladies we work with decides not to pitch for work, I can call someone else, a casual, to come in. A casual will just follow the same process, the same procedures.
Systems and processes. Guys, can you imagine? Then there's chaos if there aren't any systems and processes. But I want to go, I'll come back to you, Malcolm. I want to go to the Langas, and I want to ask you this. Does being a celebrity couple hinder or help the process of setting up a business and not getting noticed? Or more importantly, does being a popular personality result in more sales or more doors being open?
I think it can.
It can,
I
relatively.
think, yes, relatively. I think the most accurate answer would be it really depends. So there are places where it can assist and there are places where it can't.
Okay.
You know, what we found is in this time, there was very much, when we launched initially, there was a lot of, I almost feel like emotional buy-in from a fan base that, you know, really appreciated myself and Dineo.
Sure.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean financial buy-in. It just means the level of interest was there.
The likes don't pay the bills.
They don't. There's a very big difference there, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously that, you know, that can be converted, but the point is it's not automatic.
Sure.
Another thing that comes with it that we found is that people are highly critical as a result, right? So there's definitely, you know, looking through how you operate with a fine-tooth comb, you know, so something as basic as somebody who places an order, and if something is late, ready to go to social media to say, these two, they think they know and understand. You see what I'm saying? So a pressure that, I'll be honest with you, a pressure that I appreciate, that definitely keeps us on our toes. But the point is, you know, there's a scrutiny that exists there, you know, and it's a scrutiny for a young business. Irrespective of who we are, we were definitely learning on the job, you know, and I think that put a pressure on me personally to, again, processes and systems. That's what I came in for. I was like, all right, then I'm going to step out and holistically look at this from that point, because much like you, sir, accounting background. So my whole thing was I'm just going to look at the...
Stay in your lane.
Just stay in,
Please,
exactly.
you know, don't...
You know, yeah, but I think, yes, you know, to add to that, we definitely benefit from putting something in the market and being who we are. 100%. The thing about that, though, is we spent over a decade building who we are. So it's definitely ours to capitalize on, you know? So I say that to say, you know, there's definitely no shame in it. You know, this is you know, myself and Dineo are, you know, without even trying to sound braggy about it, but like we're also award-winning in a fashion
Don't
space.
be shy.
You know? Yeah, but
You must.
but this is my point. I think these were the things that kind of solidified why we felt like this was right for us, you know? So, yes, again, to answer the question, it's relative.
It's relative.
Well, just to add on to that, the South African consumer is very discerning. That is the one thing that we found going in. Somebody may say, clothing is easy. You know, you guys have that through pass because everybody has sort of been looking at you on red carpets and what you do. So that comes to you naturally, and people will gravitate to you naturally. We walk into an environment where there's things like Instagram boutiques, and some of them have systems, some of them don't. We walk into an e-commerce, a very small e-commerce community, a consumer that doesn't necessarily trust e-commerce just yet. So we're asked things like, where can I deposit into? Then we also got to understand how very risky that is. You know, because if you don't have the relative backbone, the accounting, the tax and all of that, it's going to catch up with you.
It will.
So all of this, people will sit there and go, but this is tailor-made for you. This was a, hey, you know, an easy catch, but it really, really wasn't. Like he said, we've had customers who said, nope, that's not good enough for me. The rose-colored glasses are off. Immediately when somebody has made a purchase with their hard-earned money, you're having a totally different interaction as opposed to, oh my God, I love you. No, that's completely out the window because what they want is a quality product.
And they should, though.
They should.
They should.
Because the narrative that because it's South African, it must be cheap or low quality has gone right out the window. And I'm happy to be participating in an emerging market that says, we can submit quality, we are world class, and we are here to stay.
Absolutely. And you've just touched on a point that speaks very much to the heart of the work that we do as proudly South African. Online shopping can be tricky. You know, and you don't know what you're buying into. You don't know what that experience is going to be. You know, I mean, I've had horror stories where people place an order on something, on a shoe that looks amazing, and then it gets to your doorstep and it's a size 2.
What I bought versus what I got.
Yeah, or it's 2 left shoes, or it's 2 right shoes, and they're the wrong size. Now you have to go through the mental stress. Now you have to take it back to God knows where. It comes from, you don't know where they live.
Where is it
even? You don't know how to trace them. You see, Bokang has been there. We have RSA made. It's local. We vet all the products. We know for sure it's made locally. We know their address. We know where David Kleynhans lives. If anything goes wrong, and I'm picking on him because I'm wearing David today. He's our friend of the campaign, and he's a member. But because we know for sure, nothing can go wrong because our members have an appreciation of the fact that a customer, a consumer has a choice. And a consumer have the right to want to have a good quality product. And this is why we have to kind of like start at home first. With that said, I want to come to the far end of the podium, and I want to ask this. Do you discuss the Tshabalalas? Do you discuss, and I want you to take it first, because I know Bokang is going to run with it. She's a communicator. This one. So, do you discuss work at home, or do you cut off at, you know, and separate the two? You get home and then you are parents? No. Oh, she's laughing. There's a mess. There's a mess in this house.
I'm hoping.
What happened?
I'm thinking he better be honest because it seems like the right answer is what we're not doing, but I'll leave it to him.
There's no accurate time. It just happens.
It just happens.
When she thinks of something and then we discuss it, likewise with me. So we plan, even if we have dinner or with the kids, we always plan. And in our bedroom, we have a vision board. So we write down everything in our bedroom.
There's a vision board.
Yes.
Do you want to dream?
We dream
When
all
you
the
go
time.
to sleep, you
All
imagine
the
what's
time.
on the...
We remind ourselves. We remind ourselves. That's
So
what,
we constantly visit. We constantly visit. You know, the vision board.
Okay.
And we plan, and then and then we go back.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, we revisit. So it's something that we do on a regular basis.
Okay. Yeah.
So we are not very structured in
Yeah.
that sense.
And that's honesty, because you could have said, no,
Yes.
we don't talk business, we have a relationship to take care. Yeah, you still need to take care of it.
Yeah.
That's a reality, Bokang. Yeah.
I think, we definitely talk about business at any time of
At
the day,
any time.
whenever it happens, because it's quite an important. I mean, this business, it's about our legacy as
Yeah,
well. You
yeah,
know, it's about a legacy for our children.
Yeah.
So when we go through our own personal day and we're discussing everything else that happened in the day, this particular business is always a part of the conversations we have during the day. And I mean, like what we were talking about earlier in terms of, I know Dineo was talking about the issue of quality, you know, which is one of the reasons why as well, when we went into retail, because we definitely wanted to go straight into retail. And the reason why we went into retail and said we want to use the same factories that the retailers are using, it was an issue of quality. Because we could have been very greedy in terms of saying, no, listen, we want to make the clothes. But when people are saying they want, for example, 6,000 units per range, will we be able to produce? And for us as a black business, you know, we had to make the decision because we fully understood that we wanted to deliver.
Yeah.
And we knew that if we get it wrong, the next black young person who knocks on the door, they're going to close the door on them because we messed it up.
Yeah.
So the quality issue is such a big issue because oftentimes you want the money to just come all at once to you. You want to manufacture everything. But when you think of it, we didn't have the infrastructure, you know, right at the beginning to make 6,000 items, you know, in for example, every month or every 2 months.
Yeah.
So quality is extremely important. Of course, they call you out, but we've been blessed enough. We haven't at least gotten to experience that. Why? Because we're very, very strict on the fact that we do not want the door to close on the next young black person who knocks on that door.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which retailers have
We
your
are,
your
yes,
products?
we are in Jet in over 150 stores. We've done a few ranges as well for Pep in Edgar's as well. And independent stores as well. So
Okay.
now we've entered the independent stores like your PQs and because remember our market is the black child. And where do you find them? You find them in Soweto, Ramphahlele, Leboago, you know, and we really wanted it
What
to
are you
reach.
saying? You don't find them in the burbs?
I mean, if you go to Sandton City now, you'll find it in there. But remember, we are, and I say this all the time, we are not selling clothes, we're not selling dolls, we're not selling the backpacks. We're selling a story of hope. And we really wanted it to reach the right people, and which is your brown, beautiful, you know, skinned children. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so I want to come back to you,
Our mentor,
Vizolet.
our dad for the day.
So family aside, before we get another comment and all of that, and we bring in Vivian and we work towards closure, there's so much to say, hey guys? So much to say. We need a repeat.
We do.
What do we call it in typical South African lingo? Encore.
Yes, encore. Yes. Need an encore.
So family aside, what were the biggest challenges you faced in establishing your business?
Oh, that's a great question. I think people don't talk a lot how you then also evolve over time. My brother and I kept telling ourselves when we started that if this doesn't work, it's on us. I think it comes from the fact that at an early stage, we accepted that life is just hard. You just have to figure things out. And considering it's a first generational business, you haven't done it before, you're doing something which most of your peers aren't doing anyway. It's more of a you thing. And even if you look at the numbers and the studies, most businesses which fail, more than 50%, they fail because of internal issues. By internal issues, it's probably founder issues, the team not getting along. So for us, it was always, if this doesn't work, it's on us, the first few years. Yes, there are challenges. People talk about, so you're going to get into your local pharmacies and all of that. I'm like, even if they're going to give you the contract, where you're going to get the working capital to fund it. It's just a matter of, are you speaking with the right people? are you the best people suited to do that job? And are you going to be willing to do what it takes? For example, there was a part where when I resigned from corporate, the first year, 2019, my brother funded my personal expenses in the business as well. But that meant that he had to do a lifestyle adjustment. But maybe a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So I think...
Sacrifices.
Yeah, it was those kind of challenges. And I think based on our experience, that was the biggest
challenge.
That was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, and Mosibudi?
Sure. I think I'm going to echo what he said. It's also one of those, you want to run a business and you've got all of these ideas and dreams and you want to be there and there and there. For us I think we listened to a lot of outside people more than listening to ourselves. Where there was pressure to say, why are you not in retail? Why are you not in retail? And until one day we actually realized that we don't have to be in retail to make money.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many other markets out there that will get us the money. And then we sat back and said, what do we do if we're not going into retail? And we're exactly where we are, where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, we're dealing with our corporate clients. Everything is easy, no stress. Yes, we understand that being in retail will, you know, put our brand at a certain level and people will have more access to it. Would love that. But at the moment, that avenue is not working for us. It comes with money. Being in retail means you need to have money to be in retail.
Yeah.
You need to survive to do those activations now and then, throw a promotion now and then,
Yeah.
you know, have a merchandiser who's full-time there so that you make sure that the big corporates or the big brands don't push your products to the back, you know, and you find your ginger beer there sitting outside at the back. We've been there. We walked that journey and we know that was the experience, and that's when we realized
you rearrange the shelf if your product is at the back.
Yes.
You go to jail.
You constantly have to shift and make sure and look around that no merchandiser is there watching you so that you can, you know, survive in this, you know, in this space. And so I think, and I see a lot of people who are also coming into the market, there's so many voices outside. And you need to choose who you listen to.
Because everybody's an expert, no?
Yeah.
We went through the pandemic.
And
everybody's a professor, is a doctor. Everybody has an opinion.
There are people with MBAs out there.
In business. And I live with this principle that unless you've walked somebody's journey, every step of the way, you cannot have an opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You cannot have an opinion.
Yeah.
So before I bring Ricardo back in, and then we'll hear about the importance of, you know, continuing to reinvent yourself as a business, which is where you come in, Malcolm. But I want to ask you this, Mosibudi, is that your affiliation with Proudly South African, what has it done for your business?
Yo.
She starts off with yo. I'm coming back to you with that question.
I think we found a home in Proudly SA in a sense that everything we do, we either consult with Proudly SA, we inform, we partner, we become, you know, part of initiatives that happens with Proudly SA. It has put some amount of credibility to our brand. There's a trust worthy of having just that logo on your brand, and automatically people assume that, oh, you've got this golden logo, you must be, you know, and just having that little logo on our brand, it simply says we are a quality product. We have the confidence to stand out there amongst any other beverage companies out there.
Yeah.
People are willing to listen to us because we are Proudly SA member. And it also opened doors. People will call us and say, I saw you in a brochure of Proudly, I'd like to do something with you guys. Oh, did you? Oh, nice, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's amazing being part of Proudly SA.
Just quickly, so we've all been locked up at home, Nick? But now it feels like life is happening again.
Yes.
And I know that you miss one
Ooh,
thing in particular.
delicious.
I did not even talk to her about it. What is it?
Proudly, DSTV Delicious.
Delicious Festival.
Ooh,
because
we
why?
Wait.
You made a lot of money.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Like,
there
yeah,
we go.
Yeah. I know.
So Delicious is
Oh,
back,
we
guys.
are so
Delicious is
excited.
coming back.
Super excited.
For those of members of ours who are in the food and drink space, and maybe we'll throw in apparel. Which is where you come in, which is where you come in.
Yeah.
And you know we need the wine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you know we need to look good, right? Comb my hair and shave. You know? So it's a good combo, yeah. And I'm giving you side eye. Ne? You heard the benefit of joining the Buy Local movement. Yeah, so I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving you a side eye over there. Do the right thing. Join the movement.
I'll send them the forms.
Send them the forms. You see, we have a new recruit. Send the forms. So Siphiwe and Bokang, what has the affiliation with Proudly South African done for you?
Sure, you have no idea how it felt the first time we got the first clothes, right? So we'll get the samples first and have a look. And on the tag, what we've done is the Princess Bokang outfits have a tag that go along with the normal pricing tag that has like, you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're enough, you're special. And even the Super Shaba one is like, you're strong, you're enough, you're great, you know? And I remember the first time the samples came with the tags.
The Proudly South African tag.
But now it just wasn't the prize tag and our, inspirational tag. There was a Proudly South African tag there. And like Siphiwe is saying, when we first started, we didn't do Proudly South African clothing, right? We went to China. And when finally our clothes were made in South Africa, it was very, very emotional for us. And why? Because these factories employ over 100 people, right? And we knew we are part of that. We are part of creating jobs for people. We've joined the movement now. Now people can feed their families because we decided to start a brand, and now they're making those clothes. And I remember even when we started off, it was with them. There was a farming campaign that Jet was doing whereby they farm cotton.
Yeah.
And the very same cotton was making our clothing. So you can imagine it started off from the farm straight to making it into fabric and then straight into the factories. Very, very emotional. It is such a proud moment. It's a proud moment for us to see that we are South Africans. Our clothes are made in South Africa for South African people. They're made by South Africans, which means there's a mother out there who can feed her kids because we came up with this great idea.
Fantastic.
And that is so heartwarming for us.
Fantastic.
Extremely.
Praise God.
Extremely.
Before we talk about, reinventing yourself, Shaba, I like calling your name. Shaba. What I want to know from you is that what help would you most have appreciated from doing, throughout your journey, whether it's from funding from a bank, whether it's help from government, whether a government institution rather, whether it's retail. What is the one thing that you think, if you had help from them in the beginning of your journey, it would have made a difference?
I think most people would say, in business, for your business to succeed, you need finances.
Yes.
That's not the only thing that you need. I think you need knowledge. You need mentorship as well. So there are a lot of mechanisms that one needs in order to be successful. To venture in something that it's better. It helps your chances of being successful. I think from that vantage point of view, with us is that we had the resources to invest and then launch, and then also do our own marketing through our social media platforms. And had we had a bigger opportunity in terms of marketing, we would have reached a bigger market as well. So in a perfect world, when you start something, as an idea, you think, okay, let's design, let's do clothes, let's launch, and then people will support, by virtue of association. And then reality is that the numbers that you have on Instagram, they don't translate to
If
the
they
figures.
translate it into
right?
the...
And then, so people have this perception that if you're famous or a public figure,
You have money.
you get things easy.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. It's tough, but it's doable. We did not just wake up and now we are in retail. We went the tradition route, the old one, selling a booty.
Bula boot.
Yeah.
You were a booty
online,
bula boot, and then she did what?
I look pretty. And said, yeah.
up until
malls,
that
hey, we were selling in
opportunity
malls.
came,
Yeah.
Pop-up
a
stores.
retail. We there, we're happy,
Yes.
but we want more.
Yeah.
We want to grow in the space. We want to participate in the economy. We want to be top in the chain. We want to distribute. We want to manufacture. We want to be everywhere. Because this is, as Bokang said, that we're not just selling clothes. It's a story behind it,
Yeah, it's a
and
story.
we're representing a lot of young businesses. African child. It's a story of an African child that we bring hope. We give them hope as well. So it's important that whatever experience that we have, we share with the little ones. I mean, as we seated here, we're not only representing ourselves and our own interest. It's about the ones that don't know where to start,
Absolutely.
don't know how to look for funding. Some people, they wait for funding in order to start, which is wrong. You must have a plan, you must have ideas in place, then you will get funding.
Though funding is important, but the point you're making here is that it's not always about the money.
We
There's
didn't
many
wait for
other
it.
things that the
Yes.
business needs.
We started with what we had.
With what you
Literally.
had,
Why?
yeah.
Because we couldn't get the funding.
That's it.
Why? Because once again, we're public figures, so everybody thinks, no, but you don't need
they
it.
sorted, yeah,
You know, you
Umi
guys.
South Africa.
Hey, I
Oh,
know.
Umasibudi.
Exactly.
But
they-
when you start, you won't just get funding.
Yeah.
People are very skeptical. They can't just give you money.
You actually have to prove
Mm.
yourself.
So you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You have to start, and then you can start.
Yeah.
Like now, we can start now looking for funding. Want to grow. We know what we're doing. We've been there. We
have
understand.
proof.
There's an
I'm
understanding
hoping
now.
somebody's listening. I'm hoping somebody's
Yeah.
listening to you
Yes.
because I think a lot of us are getting a sense of comfort
Yeah.
that you have a good thing going. But before I kind of get the competition winner, get Malcolm to tell us about his innovation, get parting shots. There's a lot because we have to go home, right? At some point we have to
We are
go.
okay,
We have
yeah.
to go.
We're
home.
happy here.
I have a business idea for you. But before I give you the business idea, I have an audience here, and
Witnesses.
they are watching.
Yeah.
If I give you this business idea and you make it, I don't necessarily want shares. I actually don't know what I want. I want your address. I want to know where you live. I want to be able to sit with you at the dinner table. Anyway, so can you imagine, because you are in the clothing space, and maybe this is a potential collab. I don't know. Maybe it will start here. Here's you know what I mean? Because you're in the same. Can you imagine, Siphiwe, if you approach the people you used to play for? Hey, the other people, they give me a heart attack, heart failure. The yellow people, let's not go there.
Yeah.
It's the other people that are happy now from Mamelodi because they are, you know them, those people.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if you went and approached the people you used to play for? Because you've got inroads there, right? And you clenched the deal to manufacture or produce the soccer jerseys
The kids.
locally. So imagine FNB Stadium, 90,000 FNB, 90,000 spectators. Because we all have that jersey, ne? When there's a derby, we all families, we all.
Yes.
Can you imagine if all those jerseys were made local by a local factory? How many jobs
That
would be
would create.
created, and how many jobs would be, sustain the jobs we have, and really just create more jobs in that space? Not because local is like it. Of course it is.
It is,
But
but-
because we are capable. We've
Yeah.
got the skill and we can do it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you, ne?
To discuss
No, it's-
further.
I will leave it to you.
Yeah,
we're
the plan that's
busy.
on the pipeline.
Yeah.
But with the
yeah.
Association of Proudly South African,
With
it
the
can be
association,
done.
okay.
So we'll definitely
My
be
boss is
roping.
in the room.
Association
He
and
will
endorsement.
to make it. He's listening. But can you imagine? It is about. It gives you a good feel, you know, a good fuzzy feeling.
Yes.
But it's ultimately the jobs.
Yeah.
It's the jobs, right? Do we have a winner of the competition? And do we have just 2 more questions before I take closing remarks? I have no idea how much time I still have left. Because the discussion is, fantastic. 10 minutes. But then, can we get 2 comments while we grab a glass of water? 2 comments, 2 questions, or whatever the case may be, and then the name of the winner, and then we'll do our closing comment. No, before closing comments, we hear about the wine. We have to hear. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yes, please. Okay. Yes, go for it. Go for it. All right. So Yolanda wants to know if any of you did manage or, to get some sort of funding, if any. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to move. If any. And if you did, can you please share with her where, briefly about that process? Anybody? Did you get funding? No. Oh, you did.
Yeah,
yes.
so we received back in early 2019 a grant from Investec and the Startup School. So what made us receive it, we're part of a 12-week program. It's called an entrepreneurship program. And the reason why we did that program was my brother had an engineering background, I had an accounting background. When he spoke design, because he's the one who envisioned how Brothers Beard is going to look, the bottling, the formulations, all of it. I came from the finance aspect, accounting, more people related, and he wanted to understand each other better. And that program did that because you learned about all those aspects over a 12-week period because we had weekly deliverables we had to do. So by the end of the 12 weeks, he better appreciated me, and the same applies to me. So part of it, we then had to pitch to a group of seasoned business people. I remember one of the guys who was there was, I think it's the guy who started Mr. Price. I can't remember from the top of my head. But after that, we're second runner-up, and we did receive a grant.
And, you did also?
LaRicmal received a grant.
From who?
From a transformation unit.
Okay.
And they are in the wine industry.
Right.
So it's part of the wine industry and their transformation unit that oversees the development of black businesses.
Yeah.
So they've supported LaRicmal.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And you also, okay, from who?
SAP Lurumo, Woman in Beverage, when I was selected Woman in Beverage in 2019.
Okay. So there are programs out there, financial programs that you can, tap into and, and make use of, right?
Yeah.
And now that you started sharing with us, Vizolet, was it a struggle to access the funds, that whole process, or not really?
It wasn't because it's a 12-week program. At the end, you have to explain to people in under 3 minutes what your business is doing. Why should people care?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But it takes a level of focus, paying your attention, to detail, and really be able to sell yourself, right? Because
Yeah.
nobody's going to invest in you if you you sound like you don't know what is
Yeah.
going on. Fantastic. I'm hoping that gave Yolanda, I think her name was, insight into the funding models that are out there. Any other question? So there's a great comment from Abulile, I think, and he says that he's loving this whole organized chaos playing out here, and says that it's just so refreshing to hear from you, people who are actually running these businesses, people who have actually walked the talk. Because sometimes what we read is not a true reflection of some of the journeys that that you've walked. So it's good, for people to hear from you. All right, and there's something else. Alrighty. The Langas, are you connected to, are you working with a factory or do you operate from your own operation?
We have our own
It's
operation.
our own operation.
You have your own operation. Okay, so this is factory related. They want to know, how are you able to identify the right partner, from the factory that you partner with?
Okay, what we did, because we went straight into retail, then we said to them, we are interested in finding out who it is they are using, because the retailers are using manufacturers they know how to meet the demand.
Yeah.
So we said, give us your people and let's have a chat with them and see what they do and the quality, and then we were like, these are the people we're happy with. Yeah.
And that retailer is one of ours, right?
Yes.
Remember, and it is, drum roll. It is, what?
Jet.
Give us the name?
Jet.
Jet, there we go. Jet is a proud member of
No,
the
they are
campaign for the
absolutely
longest
amazing.
time.
Yeah, even just being given the chance.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, we are never shy to talk about the fact that we struggled for 2 to 3 years, knocking on retailers and saying this is who we are and this is what we want to do, and we had doors shut in our face because nobody understood. Why do you want to do this? Because there's already character clothing in the market. We're like, yeah, but it doesn't look like African kids. But nobody understood why. But we pushed for 3 years. We kept getting the no's until the day I walked in, and I'll never forget it because I didn't even have to do a presentation. I put the clothes out, I put the dolls out, and I said, this is who we are.
You let the clothes
I let
do
the
the
clothes.
talking.
Exactly why we had to take the little bit we had and invest in getting the clothing done. Because when you see something, there's a huge difference. A presentation and me showing you and saying, this is my bottle of water.
Yeah. Malcolm, yes. The importance of staying relevant during none of you, I would imagine, nothing could have prepared you for what transpired. The pandemic, right? You had to.
No.
So you reinvented yourself in a way.
Yes.
Tell us about the kit. 6 bottles in one. I'm still there.
Do you want to bring it? Must we bring it up?
No, everybody can see it.
Can see it.
Yeah,
okay.
everybody can see it. Yeah.
Basically, what happened was when COVID came, so you got, and everybody basically went into COVID shock.
Yes.
So Ricardo and I sat and said, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it? And this is why I say small business must take a chance. And they have it in them. And we need to bring it out. So what LaRicmal did was we said, how do we create our own market? So you have to create your own market. Because the retail market already belongs to somebody. So you've got to say, where are we going? What is the future? And how do we create our market? So we said, because we're in wine, and when we thank proudly South Africa for giving wine companies the platform, because I don't think many people know black people are in wine. Yes, we are, and we're very active.
But we love it.
No,
also,
but always.
we bite.
I mean, we always.
Okay.
Yeah. And we decided that when we looked at the market, we knew there's a lack of information amongst our people in terms of enjoying wine. So how do we get our people to appreciate wine, but also know about wine? And if we wanted to unlock new market, we decided to form a kit, South African Wine Value Kit. And in this box, in the kit, we put 6 bottles of our own wines, our brands, with 4 books, English, Afrikaans, Xhosa, and Zulu. And these books are made up of different departments. And the compartments in the books give you a basic overview of wine. Regions, the age of South African wine, how you taste wine, how you identify wine, how wine is made from the fruit, from the grape, right through to the beauty of wine. Now, many of us don't know wine is healthy.
It is? Now you
Wine
tell
is very
us.
healthy.
Amen.
But I think also happy for the woman, wine is beauty. It plays an important part, especially for the woman. Now, that's in the book. With that,
We
you
will-
want the book. No,
You just want
you
the
gotta take
book
the whole
now,
pack.
ne?
You gotta
Okay.
take the whole kit. And then with it, we have a wine glass where you can do the tasting and an opener. It's all in the one kit. Yeah, now that's invented here in South Africa. I've never seen it in the world. And it's invented from small business. So this is how creative we are. Now in one kit, and what we're saying is, this could be used at duty-free stores. So we could export. These are gifts to give anyone that comes from overseas. It should be
To
on
stop
every
buying-
retail.
Stop buying gifts that have been brought here
Yes.
for people who are coming to visit.
Yes,
You
yes.
know the mixed masala
Yes, yeah.
situation? Yeah. Yes.
And we can use it to create small businesses. So somebody that wants to give lessons on wine tasting can use the kit. Because the whole kit got everything in
It
it.
is a multi-purpose.
It's a multi-purpose kit.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to see retailers listed.
They're taking a box home,
Yeah.
that couple.
How many? 5? 1, 5. So what we're saying is, small business needs support.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the biggest things happening. Retailers need to support small business.
Retailers do the right
And we are
thing.
capable of providing the best, and we are very creative. We've done it in the wine industry.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, we're almost at the end of the discussion. It's been amazing. But somebody has just won a flat screen made locally, and they are Christina Twala from, where are they? They can be anywhere in South Africa. We'll get the TV to them. Do we know? Okay. What was that? Okay, we've got a delivery man who will go and find Christina.
Via my house, they
Yeah,
swap.
This TV is going to end up in Limpopo.
My family.
She's an exhibitor, Kanyanisa. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, great stuff. Well done. Well done. Well done, Christina. Well, I can only hope this, you'll watch local content. Ne? Yeah, you will watch. When I look on the left, there's somebody. There's somebody on TV, on my right-hand side, rather. Local, yeah, you know? And there's a producer over there, you know? And there's somebody doing the shibobos on the pitch over here, who's also on screen, yeah. And there's somebody with a sash on the ramp. You know what I mean? So all the bodies can be watched on television. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do now, guys, in the absence of, I can imagine that the timelines are lit. We can't deal with everybody, but we are they've been, you know, a little birdie's been telling me there's many lovely comments, and I'm glad that this is going to be online for the next 12 months, and as proudly South African will drive feet there to ask people to watch again and watch again. You never know. A retailer, a buyer, we've got buyers on our Expo platform who are looking for your kind of products, and hopefully somebody's watching and listening and hearing all of this. Vivian, I'd like your parting shots, please. Can we have both Vivian and Ricardo on the screen for their parting shot as we say goodbye? All right,
Thank you,
there we
Happy.
go.
Thank you so much for this opportunity that comes up every now and then. We need more of this, yes, because we need people to see us out there. We don't always have the funds to advertise and to advertise our businesses and our products. And with this kind of platforms, it can actually happen for us. And like Malcolm has been saying, we need retail to take notice and to bring us on board. The small businesses are actually 65% of businesses overall in South Africa.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Vivian. Always a pleasure to host you. Next time we'll get onto a plane and come have lunch at your restaurant, Sarah, in the vineyards. You've got nice life problems.
Okay.
You're surrounded by grapes. You know,
And wine, and wine to drink.
And wine, most
Yeah,
importantly.
I always say when we have problems, we drink. And when we're happy, we drink.
I want your job. Thanks, Vivian. Ricardo,
Thank you.
your parting shot.
Happy again. Thank you for the opportunity. Just a word of advice to all the budding entrepreneurs out there, and especially the family business owners. Keep strong, be resilient. Again, retailers do need to play us a part. And thank you to Proudly South Africa. To everybody that's going to be having a holiday next week, Monday, celebrating Human Rights Day. You know where to buy the wines from. Enjoy some good South African wines. You can get Vivian and our wines also on the RSMA platform. Support local, and good luck to everybody else. Thank you so much for having us.
Ricardo, I don't even know why you're talking holiday. You don't have a holiday. There's no employee. You remember you said there's no holiday for family. Why are you going there now?
I'm gonna ask my boss to give me some time.
We
off.
see what you're trying to do.
Yeah, let's see. But thanks again so much. And to the rest of the panelists out there, good luck, guys. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in person one day. And all the very best for your businesses, and I wish you well. Thank you.
We hope that will happen because we're hoping to go back into the physical format like next year.
Yes.
So hopefully. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Zothile?
This was really comforting. I think sometimes we might live in our own bubble or capsule and feel like these are just our own burdens, you know? So sharing with other entrepreneurs and just, you know, there's a sense of comfort in it, you know? Dineo will attest to this. I'm constantly just like, you know, I'm very proud of like the people we employ. I'm proud of the fact that we're able to monthly make sure that, you know, that they're paid and there's a level of comfort, you know? But that's its own burden, you know? I live it. I feel those tensions and stresses, but it's you know, it's the bravery in what we all do here. I think is you know, it's so rewarding, and it's and in multiple ways, you know, and again, that's kind of what I've received from this just from this conversation, which is incredible. So thank you all for that.
Thank you so much. All right, Dineo, Langa leo.
Almost. Mara usile senyana.
Almost.
Senyana fela, just senyana. Jaka re buile. Look, this was quite the honor, you know. We're 17 months old. We are literally the toddler of this group. And we're so grateful to Proudly South African for seeing us. You know, a lot of the time you walk into the business sphere and it's oh, also you, okay, join the line.
Yeah.
And to sit here today amongst seasoned business owners, we're sitting here as students more than anything else. And we are appreciative of that opportunity. We really are just so encouraged to grow stronger, grow longer as a business. Please make sure that if you are looking to get in touch with us,
of course.
We do ready to wear, we create bespoke suits, we do couture, we do tradition. We're wearing our clothes right now. Please make sure that you go to www.portoflng.com. That's www.portoflng, Langa without the vowels.com.
Listen, he pays the bills, she markets the business. It's a winning formula. You know? Fantastic. Thank you so much. Mosibudi?
Another platform where we just received free marketing campaign or advertising from Proudly SA. Proudly SA is like our billboard. It puts us in spaces where we never thought we would. And thank you again to Proudly SA and the team, amazing team as usual. Doing business with family, you just need to be more resilient, to stick together and trust the formula, trust the process.
Trust the process.
And it's very easy to get lost because we've got friends. Everybody has their own people, their cliques and people, Yeah. So, but if you have a solid foundation, solid background, and you've got like so much support behind you, then it's easy to go out there and face this business journey.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Malcolm, your closing remarks.
Closing remarks. I think thank you to everybody. Many of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people behind us. So thank you, and thank you. Proudly South Africa, thanks a million. You'll have taken us on shows and you'll give us another platform. And this platform is important for the country, job creation. And I think let's learn from each other and let's grow. And let's do it for South Africa. So thanks, and I want to thank my family, and I thank my wife, Cheryl.
Amen.
As well.
Amen. Finally.
So I can go home. I gotta go. So thanks to you guys, thanks to the wine industry, Vivian, and everybody. Thanks
so
very
she's
much.
watching, clearly, and he knows he's in trouble.
Thanks for giving LaRicmal a chance. Yes. Thanks, Eustace. Gabriel, thanks very much. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Vizolet is the name.
Now you got the name.
That's how you should start.
Vizolet. Yes. Your parting shots.
My parting shots. I think with the pandemic, it's highlighted that once we're born, the only thing left is to die. With that in mind, I'll just encourage everyone who's going to listen to this, watch this, that find something which you gravitate towards, something which you enjoy. We all have different strengths. We all are positioned in different situations, different geographies, which come with different opportunities and different struggles. With us, as my father would say, you don't need a trust fund. I gave you a connecting bed. We worked with that. Try do the most with what you have. Try go for it. If it's your crush, DM your crush. If it's any idea you have out there, something which speaks to you, something which spoke with me and my brother. It wasn't just about beards, but it was just about, I knew regardless what is happening in a new city, in Johannesburg, I have someone who I can call. Regardless what's happening in their lives, we always had one thing which we looked forward to. We enjoyed it, and that's why we made it a business. And going forward, regardless of what you ever do in life, we are going to give you a blueprint. How do you build a successful brand within Brothers Beard?
So, Vizolet.
Yes.
I got it. So your dad said what?
Yes.
You do the rest.
Yes.
Is that what?
That's what he's inherited.
Yeah. There's your.
There's your trust. There's your trust fund.
Okay.
Sure. I think firstly to say thank you to Proudly SA for the platform. I know it's been very beneficial to us as small business owners, but also I'm sure to the people that are watching who thought they couldn't start because all they have is 2,000 rands in their account. Now they know we all probably had to start with what we had. And a plea to the government to make sure that information is accessible to the young people of this country, because we have an amazing group of young people who have great ideas that can actually help to move this country forward and create, grow the economy of the country. To the financial institutions that are there to fund you know, hopefully the young people of our country, I hope you find a way of making the funds accessible, even to those young people that you do not know. And I think to specifically the young black people of our country, I remember growing up, my father being a principal, and he was selling chickens as well, to make sure that he could give more. In terms of his salary, couldn't afford to buy me a car when I went to varsity, but because he was doing the extra thing as well, you know, and I've seen that as young black people, we are so ashamed of the legacies our parents leave us behind. Hence, we are going into farming as well, because that's what my father left us behind. My mother was a nurse who was also making clothes as well. Hence, I am in the clothing business. My plea is, if your mother's running a spaza shop, what is the bigger idea? How are you going to grow that family business that probably contributed to you going to school? You know, turn it into a huge supermarket. Go to varsity, yes, but come back and give back to the very same business that has grown your family. And I think to retailers, you know, my plea to you is, can you, you know, to try and give as many young black business owners the opportunity to get into retail. The red tape is so big. It is so difficult for people to get into retail. Can we do better as retailers in this country? And to every other person who's watching, if you have a dream and you have something that is itching inside of you and nobody else believes in it, my advice to you is just like us. We knocked on doors for 3 years and everybody kept saying no. We kept on, we had the courage, and we started something small on our own, and now we are in more than over 200 retailers in this country. And my advice to you is, don't lose heart of your dream. Even if people keep saying no, even if, you know, doors keep shutting in your face, even though you do not know. For some business owners that have already started and you feel like giving up, do not give up. You know, your day will come. Your day will come.
Your day will come.
Your day will come.
Your day will come.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so last but not least, I feel like there's a song that comes to my head.
We saved the
And I
best
think-
for last.
Yeah, save the best. and I think it says, so it says Mr. Loverman. Shaba. And you are here, Loverman. Mr. Loverman. Shaba. Shaba. I just wanted to say Shaba.
Yeah. I think on our side, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I think it's a platform that you really needed, you know, to speak and also share our experiences. But more than anything, to learn as well, you know, from our fellow panelists, you know, and you know, when we speak support, when we speak buy local, it should start with us, you know. And after today, I know if I want to look good, the Langas are here.
Yay.
You know,
Yay.
when I'm tasting Khmer is
Khmer
here.
and then
There's wine.
Yeah.
You know,
You
I must
must
make sure my
shave.
beard is good. My brother is here. And if we start that culture at this level, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
the others will follow as well.
Sure.
You know, and another important thing that I try to do almost on a regular basis is to support the informal sector. You know, I think they're neglected, and they do play you know, a role in the economy, in our economy, you know, regardless of the size. So I'd make sure that I buy scones every day, I buy a makwenya, and I give them a tip. You know, I'm not doing it for fun, but I know the importance. I know that Makoko, they value money and they put it to good use. Some of those old ladies, you know, they take kids to school, they take their grandkids to school. So we need to also try and assist them the best way we possibly can. You know, and my plea to the financial institutions, give us a chance, give young people a chance, you know, help them with the resources that you have. You know, there's immense talent, there's great ideas. Some of them, they don't know where to go, you know, who to talk to, where to knock, you know, but I'm optimistic that after, you know, this session, maybe they'll DM the Langas, or they'll DM us, or they'll DM Proudly South African. I think that's a start, you know, and henceforth, we need to have a lot of these sessions, to share ideas, to learn, and grow, the economy, because there's a huge potential of us participating in the economy on a larger scale. We don't want to be down there, right at the bottom. No.
You wanna?
Yes, I think it was proven before that we can play at the higher level. I mean, those family-run businesses, your Ackerman and all that, they were once beginners at some stage, So they've got a story to tell. We need that opportunity. We need that channel as well, that we also tell a story to tell, we have a story to tell to the next generations. So thank you so much for the platform.
Fantastic. Yeah, Bokang, what did you do to this guy?
Hey.
Yeah.
Right.
He never used to speak. He used to play proper football, right? And he was a man of not too many words. Padi, which is beautiful because you've given us.
I'm following the ratio.
Okay.
I speak less.
Yeah.
I listen.
Fantastic. Well, I have the honor of doing the vote of thanks because we've come to the end of the session today. And it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I just want to kick off thanking the panelists, who are here. Thank you, everybody. Really, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea the kind of difference you've made in somebody's life who's watching us today. Even if it's one, somebody who, who grabbed something from something you may have said, and they're going to, apply it in their own personal spaces. You are busy, your diaries are hectic, but you heeded our call when we came knocking at your door, and not only did you make a great contribution, you got up, dressed up in local. I'm told everybody is dressed up, has got a local outfit on. When Shaba got here, I was like, oh, your suit looks like it comes from somewhere else. It looks amazing, but can we check the label? And he assured me, in fact, I'm told he's the one that said at home last night, hey, what's your outfit for tomorrow? We are wearing local. Which is fantastic. Thank you, guys. You got up, dressed up and showed up. We appreciate that. We don't take it for granted. Thank you, thank you. Let's do this thing, the Buy Local movement. And with that said, I also want to just thank everybody who made today a possibility. Today was our first day, a bumper-packed program, that we are hoping is proudly South African, that everybody who's watching us has enjoyed it. And we kicked off this morning. Thank you to our MC for today, Fifi Peters, who held it together the whole day. And then we had Advocate Priya Hassan, who is a board member at Proudly South African this morning. Thank you, Advocate Hassan. We then heard from the Honorable Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, who joined us this morning, representing the Department of Small Business Development, they're a partner, especially for Entrepreneurship Day today. Thank you so much to the Honorable Minister. And then we heard from the panel discussion around SEZs, whether they contribute to the job creation element, in South Africa. And then we had a 4IR discussion, which was lit on social media platforms, where young people are doing incredible things in South Africa. Don't let anybody tell us local is not lekker. We do amazing things. Here's testimony to that. And then we had an automotive sector, a presentation in partnership with Nissan South Africa, showcasing how we assemble a car locally, which is fantastic. They knew Navara, Baki that is made luxury bakkie. I'm told I was educated when we were doing that, that recording. Luxury bakkie made in South Africa out in the plant in Rosemary. Thank you to Nissan South Africa for partnering with us today. And obviously, you guys, thank you so much. Everybody who joined us on the official platform and all social media platform, the media, you know, all broadcasters were here today, both electronic and you know, print media, we're here today. Without you, the buy local narrative is going nowhere. We need your support to be able to spread the buy local narrative as broadly as we possibly can. Bless you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.